Qualifiers and givens, inversion, compression, expansion, being inverted. I uh, I monitor my own videos to see a lot of times whether I'm even going to put it up, because there's a difference between when it just flows out of your heart and your soul. It just comes natural, see? And so if I go back and listen to it, it's as if I'm the observer, but observing it from a different perspective because it's already happened. So it's like, imagine that you're somebody else and now you're experiencing what's already been recorded, how you feel inside when you're experiencing that record. It's not the same, okay? Because it's already happened. You've moved on, okay? Cellular memory. So you can see, for example, right now on Facebook, the AI is hammering. See, it's not like it doesn't know what's held in memory, because it's a memory storage device, okay? Just like we have our own RAM, right? So, this is where it gets into the beauty and actually the genius of the way that the Alcoholics Anonymous program is sort of set up, because they emphasize throughout all of those communications of those that have recovered, their spirit is awoken, right? They're not duking it out with a demon anymore, right? So their spiritual energy is now very powerful, and that's what it means to be self-empowered. But in step 12, it's love and service to others. Now you're more powerful in spirit. Now you're beginning to experience the true power of creation, spiritual energies again, which is the true self, your soul, led by spirit, is now experiencing more light in you, right? So you learn from that. And that's why it's beautiful when it's acknowledged that when you're on fire, with the atoms that are on fire, experiencing what love is and living spirit that is in that light, you're now using that energy to help heal others, to bring everybody back into the one. So when you think of when I mentioned the scatter plot, okay, I'm an outlier. But imagine that we're all outliers, which means we're all different from each other, because we're all different aspects of each other that are experiencing what love is, because love is a free spirit that is now free to create whatever it wants, that is different from all the other artists that are experiencing what they are creating together, being with the one, which means we're all experiencing what love is. That's what frees us, right? Now we're all free to experience whatever we want, which is whatever we're going to create out of our infinite creative imagination, because we're on fire. See? So this is sort of how you can that's one of the reasons why that particular blob that guy put up, when he talked about a singularity of artificial intelligence that's wanting to, through the way that you can measure, for example, the speed, the acceleration of AI wargamers. Okay, these are not beings that are accelerating in the direction in spirit to be with the great living spirit of Mother Earth and her oversoul. No, they're going in another direction. So they're experiencing who they are through the virtual worlds of dead light. Okay, so now you can think of that as a scatter plot that's coming together in a formation of consciousness, of dead light, that is experiencing itself in a virtual world, which isn't a real living light world, of creation energies out of atoms that are vibrating at a higher rate of speed of what love is. So now you're measuring the speed at which they're accelerating what they're doing with their consciousness to live in virtual worlds, and the speed and the acceleration of our soul and our spirit to live in real worlds. So at some point, by the attention span, which means the amount of energy that they're capable of being able to experience, being a part of the all creation, which is what love is, and those that aren't, down a phantom hole. Bye. Because those digital virtual worlds that are running on dead light is finite. So what that means is that the only way that they can keep that virtual world running is off of who? One. I call them feeder lines. So that's why they use all their tech against us. Use all their tech trying to drain your battery. Follow that spirit. Because I remember one time when, what's his name? Prince. She just said to me, we're the only ones that create arcs of light. That's absolutely correctamundo. That's right. That's why it's beautiful now when I see on my Facebook page, for example, green is there and you can see the white outline that the AI puts up there. Yeah. Creation sphere is the center point of it all. Center point of creation. Yeah, it's the most beautiful thing to experience. So you can see how this sort of applies, and how comments sort of go back and forth between other people that are experiencing what love is in their own heart, which is the now, a now vibration, a low vibration. So when you're experiencing what love is, you're on fire. Hey, what do you want to go experience next? Man, I'm on fire. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. What do you want to go do? Whatever you want to go do. You're free. Now your spirit is free. Now your mind, your consciousness, your soul is not held captive in spirit. Somebody's trying to control you. Your spirit is free because your energy is free, because you're experiencing the purest of light, which is on fire within your own heart and soul. Love is what frees us. That's right. That's the genius of it. It naturally flows that way because the atoms vibrate that way, the right way, so that the future is always known, known unknowns. Because you don't know what's out there that you can experience next, but whatever it is going to be different than the last one because love is on fire to do stuff like that. And those are called original songs, original stories, original music, original sounds that are used with color codes. And you see it everywhere in nature. The artist, the creative artist. So they mimic us. You can see that through all their military hardware. Right? You know, bumblebees, right? Echo chamber, hover, you know, helicopters that hover. So you begin to realize when you really scale this up between living ships, living space arc transportation systems, right? And then how much batteries or how much energy is actually used by all the different batteries that are all working together based on programming to program what an engineer put together in its mind, a seed, right, to build something. But it needs to have a way in which to know how to do that. Otherwise, it's not going to operate the way it was intended by the architect or the designer. So they wanted to build an airplane, like Grumman airplanes, right? So Grumman has to figure out how it works. How does nature work? So let's see if we can build something that'll work with nature, right? So they copy, they mimic what nature does in order to be able to operate in a natural world, but they're unnatural because of the way that they do it. And how do you know that? Because everything that they build collapses on itself, which means it's limited shelf life. And it's not limited in the sense that, well, of course it's limited because there's always something new to experience. No, we're talking about a Truman Show, right? You see it everywhere. It's one of the reasons why America, and I've known this since I was a child, was going to be the last battleground. And I saw the other day Australia and the United States, where America was going to be the final battleground, or what I call the last dance with an evil spirit. Shaw House, you know, it's not a coincidence. Fast and Furious, Jason Statham, Galactic Talk, ACIO, Peter the Insider, The House of Shaw, right? Shaw, shank. You know what a shank is, right? Anybody that's ever been in a cage knows what a shank is. A gun, a knife, a weapon. That's weaponized consciousness. Okay? Shadow beings, right? Yeah. So they operate in the shadows. I saw a word that said lurkers. They lurk in the shadows. See? So you see the problem, right? Shaw, shank, Redemption, and then they were on Tim Robbins, and to his credit, because I've always loved him, Morgan Freeman were in that movie, and how that story is played out. And it's actually a very beautiful story because the guy upstairs it does exactly what Tim Robbins does. Three sevens, 777. It's minus, not the way that it's perceived in the number crunched as fire letters as positive. No, that courthouse down there in Hilo, Hawaii, wearing black robes is not positive. That's not white light. Okay, that's not arcing light. They don't arc that power. Okay, not even close. So this is sort of how you see the difference between inverters and converters, transformers, real power transformers, right? Transforming from what was into something different that is beautiful, that's never been experienced before, and love has the power to do that. When you're experiencing a love vibration, and there's nothing more painful that I know to cry more tears to experience others who don't experience that. And as a result, they use their energy in the ways in which they do, like the House of Shah, because you already know, if they haven't already figured it out. Okay, they're living on borrowed energy, which is borrowed time, because there's only a point in time when all of a sudden, wow, the fire showed up. Fire engine showed up. So that's what a first responder is. The one is a first responder. So when the one puts the call out, that's like dial 0. Just like a dispatcher, right? Dispatch all the engines. All the engines got the call. Well, this is all hands on deck. That's what we call it. You know, in the fire department, they call them alarms. Hey, this is a first alarm fire. One engine, right? One engine in a squad, right? And then we got one engine in a truck company, a truck, right? Whoa, this is a real alarm. This is a first alarm. Yeah, but this is the first alarm, the one. Yeah. Wow, the one put the call out. Wow, that's every engine. That's every atom. Every atom. Wow. That really is a lot of fire, folks.